Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about how to use live streaming to grow your business and your marketing and your lead gen. So I have an idea. Let's nerd out, dive on in, and talk all about how to use live streams for your business growth. Let's do this. All right, so the very first thing we have to dive into is the marketing ecosystem, because we need to understand exactly how live streaming fits into your entire business growth. Let's move this out of the way for a second. Okay. So normally in a business, what we're doing to build is basically we're posting content on different social media platforms and either directing people to the link in our bio, using something like ManyChat to automate that process. By the way, drop a yes in the comments if that is something that you would like to learn more about. But basically trying to get people ultimately into the ecosystem beyond social. So people go to the link in your bio, maybe they opt in for something free, and you've got your paid programs or services or products, obviously, over here. And usually it's through email nurturing that we're going to bring people to this point. But all of that actually can be completely shortcut by building the parasocial relationship through live streams. It's actually one of the fastest ways to build, know, like, and trust. Now, live streams are interesting because basically throughout live streams, and we'll talk about this, you can direct people to your paid programs, to join your email list, etc. But the reason that they're so powerful is because this is a place where people can build the know, like, and trust with you. They're like, this is someone who might see my comments, might engage a little bit. They're talking about something outside of a polished, professional, edited capacity. It feels more personal. So there's something beautiful that happens as you go live more. It's actually a psychological kind of phenomenon called the mere exposure effect. Essentially, when people see your name, your face, hear your voice quite a bit on either social media, but especially on a long form live stream, what happens is over time, they disproportionately like you more than they normally would at the normal rate of getting to know you, which is kind of a weird and wild thing. But basically, I'm just going to put it this way, live streams are effectively powerful. So when you use these, and we'll talk in a bit about the different platforms as well as content topics, how to increase engagement on live streams, this is a way to actually directly generate sales into your products, paid offerings, or services, or at the very least, generate leads and even sometimes some followers back to social media. So let's talk about the topics that you can use to grow and market your business. All right, so live streams exist kind of in their own silo, right? And we'll talk about the different platforms where you can do those in a moment. But I want to talk first about like the psychology and strategy of using live streams. So live streams on most platforms are going to show up in the dashboard, the explore, discover, the normal browsing feed. So what happens is they are a thing that is not search based necessarily. They're more of the kind of thing that people stumble upon and hopefully absolutely adore. There are two different ways that I increase the chances of someone saying, hey, I want to stay around and see what this is all about. And those two things are kind of like carrot and stick, but completely different. So the first is going to be by taking a common pain point that people you want to serve, clients you want to work with, customers you want to reach. You take a pain point that they're dealing with. For example, I used to be a hairstylist. If I was a hairstylist and I noticed that a lot of people were struggling with hair that's consistently breaking, so it's like damaged, brittle ends, dull ends, etc., that would be a pain point. The other is desires and dreams based. And I'm just going to put desires. So, for example, everyone has this desire to have healthy, thick, lustrous long hair, or at least that's what hairstylists like to believe. So if I wanted to create a live stream that attracted the people I want to serve, the biggest thing that I would do is I would either tap into this one or this one and title my live stream accordingly. So dry, damaged, broken ends, here's how to fix it. Live stream. Got it? If it was desires, Want healthy, full, strong, lustrous hair? That's obviously too many words, but I will share my training on how to do it. So by focusing on pain points and desires of the people you want to reach, your live stream can be immensely interesting, intriguing. It can give them a reason to stay, maybe even ask some questions and more. But what platforms can we stream on with these pain point driven or desire driven live streams? Let's talk about it. Okay, so I've got my notes up. So there are many different platforms you can live stream on, and they have different parameters. So there are different benefits to different platforms. For example, some are disappearing, meaning as soon as you stop streaming, the live stream disappears and you can't really use it again, or you can use it, but it's not going to show up for people longer term. And there are some that have long-term live streams. So disappearing live streams include TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Within 30 days, all live streams get removed from Facebook within 30 days. So it's still disappearing, but a longer shelf life. The longer term platforms are YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. Let's talk a little bit more. Do you guys want to nerd out? I think we should talk about engagement, but first, let's dive on in. All right, before we jump into my next tip, which is how to boost engagement on your live streams, I have to tell you about this. So if you're already going live or planning on going live soon, why not get paid for it? ProMeet lets you host paid live streams where your audience supports you directly, which is fantastic. You don't have to wait to have 1,000 followers. There's no platform taking a massive cut. There's not waiting for 30 days for payouts. It's literally like live streaming plus your own store. And you keep 90% of the revenue with instant USDC payments. So whether you're doing webinars or Q&As, performances, maybe you're gaming or coaching, this works across the board. There's no approval process. There are no weird technicalities or rules. You're truly in full control. Build your digital store in minutes and sell your content directly to your audience with ProMeet. I put the link in my description. Be sure to go check that out, and let's dive back into the next live stream growth strategy. Okay, so when it comes to engagement on live streams, it's actually more fun and simple than you would think. I'm going to share a few baseline rules that can help increase engagement. And the reason you'd want to do that is because when there is an increase in engagement, that tells the platform, hey, people are watching, paying attention, maybe even liking or commenting, we should send this out to more people. Hence, more people can hop on your lives. So a few things that can be really helpful to know, or at least note. Number one, you want to seem friendly, not closed off. You definitely want to put your best face forward. So whether that's smiling, using lots of hand gestures, there's a reason I do that. It's an attention reset, especially for people who are neurotypical or neurodivergent or easily bored or any of the above. You got it? So that's the first thing. You also can share things that are examples and stories that are true, that include emotions, really, really exciting, devastating, sad, things that are making you angry in your industry. You can tap into a thing called the emotion wheel. Please write that down if you're watching this, of course. Feel free to drop the emotion wheel so I know you heard that. The emotion wheel is fantastic because it breaks our different emotions into sub-genres of emotions and allows us to get hyper-specific in understanding what is this that I'm connecting with? What is this emotion so that others can resonate better to it? So you want to make sure that there is variety and that you're using clear pacing, that it's easy to understand what you're saying. Maybe that you have some type of visual, whether it's a TV behind you showcasing your slides, maybe it is a whiteboard in front of you here, maybe it's something that you put on the screen using OBS. You can use whatever you want. I use a whiteboard and marker because it's simple, it's easy. I can bring this on the road with me. It doesn't take long to prep. I'm a huge fan of that process. So you have to decide what visual aids you're going to use to bring your training to life, even if it's just a simple training or a live stream answering questions. Okay. So number one, and this is big, you want to set a goal of asking the audience something every 5 minutes, even before there's an audience to ask. Meaning if your first 5 live streams, only 2 people show up and it's your grandma and your neighbor, that is fine. You want to get comfortable with every 5 minutes asking a question. And that is a rule for all live streams and trainings. It is one of the best ways to engage. And if you are at the place where you're getting comments, you want to read some of them. Be like, oh my gosh, Sarah, that's fantastic. Oh, Joe, I went there last summer. It's an incredible place. A great thing to start out with is often a poll. So if 5 people or 7 people jump on, or a few people say hello on your live stream, you can dive on into saying, okay, so question for you guys, please drop a yes for which of these are true for you. Are you a business owner? Drop a yes or a no. Let me know if that's true for you. Question for you, are you in the US, or where are you located? And then that way you can get some feedback on where people are watching from. But polls are great ways to start. As soon as you start to see that people are coming on, you can say, quick question for you, what word would you use to describe your business? By the way, this is a great way too to get really good feedback on who it is that you want to attract and who's resonating with your message. This is one I use a lot. I actually rarely say drop a yes, but this is a CTA. It is not a micro commitment, but a micro like CTA. So it's the chance to showcase to people, hey, I'm certain, I am a leader, I am confident about what I'm teaching. So you can say, drop a yes if that hit. Drop a yes if you learned something you needed. Drop a yes if da 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 da. And of course, you can fill in the blank with your own thing here. I will oftentimes do aha. Or I've seen other people's things where they say, drop a 111 for angel numbers, right? So you can decide what word you want to use, but you want to get people used to commenting and engaging. Plus, it makes it a lot more fun because you get instant feedback about what is resonating with people, which makes you a better person in live streams long term. Okay, and then number 4, this is big. There are a few different ways you can do this, but you actually want to get feedback when you notice that there are a few people or many people on your live stream. And this is true from day one. So even if there's only one person, you want to get comfortable with asking, like, I have a question for you. In one word, how would you describe what you've learned today? This can feel super vulnerable, but it's a beautiful opportunity to allow people to share their honest feelings. It's a beautiful opportunity for you to get some feedback and learn. Usually it's pretty positive and good. Sometimes we have things to learn. That's fine too. And it's a place where you can start to connect with people. I will sometimes ask when I'm leading communities I know on a live stream, I will say, okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to give me a rating on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the best, 0 being this was useless. Please rate this training and tell me how it was for you personally. And that can be a really helpful way to get more feedback, to improve. And it's a great way to get engagement and allow others to feel like they're not just sitting there listening to someone coming down from on high who doesn't care that they're people with their own lives or experiences. But you definitely want to make sure that you are offering opportunities for people to engage. Ask the question, where is everybody watching from? Ask the question, what is your favorite holiday recipe? Ask the question, what is your go-to hairstyle? Something that is closely related to your industry or gives you feedback on the people who are most likely to tune into your trainings. That is going to be where the sweet spot is. Feel free to ask those questions throughout because it builds an amazing relationship. Now let's talk about my favorite system for actually using your live streams to create more content for your business. This is fantastic and one of my favorite processes. So this is called Domino Content. And on every single social media platform that you can live stream on, you can download your first domino, which is your live stream. Then what you're going to go ahead and do is put it into some type of transcription service. like Otter AI, because you want to get the words that you shared so that you can pull your IP, your quotes, the things that you've taught, your systems, your processes, new things, new ways that you've explained things. You can use ChatGPT to clean this up. Just put it in with a simple prompt. Please clean up this transcript without shortening or summarizing anything. And then from there, you can pull out a ton of Domino content pieces. I'm going to share what I mean by that. So live streams are fantastic because I used to actually do these every single morning on TikTok while I was getting my makeup ready, because I said really great things and I put together new frameworks, and I would share a training as I was just getting ready for the day, and it ended up being incredible baseline for content all across the board. So you can pull out quotes. I call these truth bombs. And these are fantastic for LinkedIn, Facebook, Threads, sometimes Instagram, if you turn them into quote cards, which sometimes can work. Some brands they work really well for. You can turn these rants, especially using AI, into long form content. And by the way, if you want me to break down any of these systems, just let me know in the comments if there's one in particular you're like, I want to know how to do that. Okay. So long form text-based content, those can perform really well. You can use a software like Munch.io or other to go ahead and create reels and TikToks from that video. That one's pretty good. I know Descript is also another awesome one. So Descript. And of course, if you did a really long training or ended up going into multiple things, you might be able to record an intro and then pull the actual training itself and turn it into a long form video for YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Long form video. So this right here can turn into a ton of pieces of content, which is awesome. And as business owners, we need our content to go further. Live streams are a great way to do it. Now, of course, this is a complexity that I have to teach, and it's so key. A lot of times people will be like, but Rachel, I don't know how to live stream on multiple platforms. Well, you can obviously use tools for that. Another way that you can do it is setting up multiple devices around you. So you can set up your phone here and live stream on TikTok. You can set up here on your computer and live stream on YouTube. You can use a tool or a platform that allows you to live stream to multiple places or in one dedicated place for monetization. So truth be told, with live streaming, it is practice. And it is also fantastic audience building, nurturing, connection, and it's a place to generate leads. Should we dive on into that? Let's nerd out on the strategy of lead generation with specifically live streams. Okay, so I know this looks like a lot, but I'll break it all down. So essentially, if I have an amazing freebie, and that is key, like my Instagram 0 to 100K growth guide, and I also have my one-on-one IG growth services, like my done for you services, then I may want to plan my 4 live streams around those pain points and desires that ultimately could lead to either this awesome free guide or to working with me one-on-one or both. So I might do an entire live stream around reels that predictably go viral, and one about how to reverse the Instagram shadow ban, one about IG captions, perhaps that increase reach, and one about ManyChat and IG, how to leverage them to get leads. All 4 of those can lead to both of these, both a free offering as well as one-on-one services, even without directly pitching. It can be simple with micro CTAs. So for the majority of the platforms that you can live stream on, link in bio is going to be your go-to. The other one as well is links in caption. They're very similar. So link in bio is that link on your profile, on any given profile. It's that main link. I use beacons.ai to host many different links within there so that I can have lots of different things in one place and people can find exactly what they're looking for. In your captions, or if you're going live on YouTube, you can of course put these at the beginning, your freebie, your paid services, your low ticket, or multiple freebies. You can put all of those with descriptions and CTAs in the beginning of your bio so you can always reference them throughout your live stream. Now, on certain platforms, for example, sometimes with Instagram and Facebook, depending on how you're handling the live stream and the aftercare of what it needs, you can set up ManyChat to basically handle it. So if anyone comments on any of those live streams that are now turned into content pieces, but they comment something like guide, then they're sent this link. If they want to grow through one-on-one IG growth services, they can comment grow, and you can share those CTAs throughout your live stream. You can either manually follow up with those leads afterwards, depending on the volume, or use ManyChat or bring in a VA to support with manually handling all of those comments. Another great one is directing to a URL. And a lot of times people are like, well, I don't know what software to use to direct people to a URL. Let's make it simple. I love simple and I love easy. So if I were to say, okay, so for you guys today, I put together an awesome pack. If you go to rachelpedersen.com, and that's all E's and a D in my last name. Make sure that that's spelled right. If you go to www.rachelpedersen.com, you will see a whole bunch of my free resources that are there to support you. This literally allows you to direct people to any URL you buy. So if you buy something that's like your Rachel's best freebies or Rachel's favorite resources, then people can go there and see anything that you've put on that page, and you can put these things and more, which is fantastic. It's kind of like a link in bio, but also feels very legit. And then as well as the links and captions, of course, those will work on YouTube. Well, that's more in the bio. That will work on Facebook. That will work on LinkedIn. And the other platforms will need to use these right here, these three. That includes Instagram, TikTok. They don't have those clickable links. Back in 2018, I remember hearing Gary Vaynerchuk saying at a private event that I was at that if you went live every single day, it would transform your business. So I started doing it back then. And for many seasons in my business, I have gone live almost every day. And truth be told, he was right. So I triple dog dare you. You can say I accept in the comments, but do you accept the live stream challenge? Will you go live every day for 30 days and watch the difference that it makes on your business, especially your impressions, your email list growth, your followers, and how it impacts your other videos? I can't wait to hear, and drop all your questions in the comments below.